Welcome to another new lesson in Earth and Life Science. For today's lesson, we will be studying how populations of organisms change over time. Darwin knew that heritable variations are needed for evolution to occur. However, he knew nothing about Mendel's laws of genetics. Mendel's laws were rediscovered in the early 1900s. Only then could scientists fully understand the process of evolution. Alleles. Variations of traits are heritable. These variations are determined by different alleles. An allele is one of two or more versions of a gene. An individual inherits two alleles for each gene, one from each parent. If the two alleles are the same, the individual is homozygous for that gene. If the alleles are different, the individual is heterozygous. Evolution is due to a change in alleles over time. Microevolution occurs over a relatively short period of time within a population or species, while macroevolution occurs over geologic time above the level of the species. Individuals do not evolve. Their genes do not change over time. The unit of evolution is the population. A population consists of organisms of the same species that live in the same area. In terms of evolution, the population is assumed to be a relatively closed group. This means that most mating takes place within the population. The science that focuses on evolution within populations is population genetics. It is a combination of evolutionary theory and Mendelian genetics. The gene pool. The genetic makeup of an individual is the individual's genotype. A population consists of many genotypes. Altogether, they make up the population's gene pool. The gene pool consists of all the genes of all the members of the population. Allele frequencies. Allele frequency is how often an allele occurs in a gene pool relative to the other alleles for that gene. The Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium principle. The Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium principle says that allele frequencies in a population will remain constant in the absence of the four factors that could change them. These factors are natural selection, mutation, genetic drift, and gene flow. In fact, we know that they are probably always affecting populations. The forces of evolution. Natural selection. Alleles are expressed in a phenotype. The phenotype confers an advantage or disadvantage to the individual. If it is an advantage, then that individual will likely have more offsprings than individuals with other phenotypes, and this will mean a greater representation than the next generation. Over time, the allele will increase in frequency in the population. Mutation. Mutation is a change in the DNA sequence of the gene. A mutation can change one allele into another, but the net effect is a change in frequency. A mutation may produce an allele that is selected against, selected for, or selected neutral. Mutation is the ultimate source of genetic variations in all populations, new alleles, and therefore new genetic variations arise through mutation. Gene flow. Another important evolutionary force is gene flow, or the flow of alleles in and out of a population resulting from the migration of individuals or gametes. Many plants, for example, send their seeds far and wide by wind or in the guts of animals. The seeds may introduce alleles common in the source populations to a new population in which they are rare. Genetic drift. Genetic drift is a random change in allele frequencies that occurs in a small population. When a small number of parents produce just a few offsprings, allele frequencies in the offsprings may differ by chance from allele frequencies in the parents. Bottleneck effect occurs when a population suddenly gets much smaller. Founder effect occurs when a few individuals start or found a new population. In summary, there are 4 factors that can change the allele frequencies of a population. Natural selection works by selecting for alleles that confer beneficial traits or behaviors, while selecting against those for deleterious qualities. Mutations introduce new alleles into a population. Genetic drift stems from the chance occurrence that some individuals have more offsprings than others and results in changes in allele frequencies that are random in direction. When individuals leave or join the population, allele frequencies can change as a result of a gene flow. Classifying organisms based on evolutionary relationships. Modern classification started with the work of Carolus Linnaeus in classifying all known and unknown organisms according to the greater or lesser extent of their similarities. The Linnaean system of classification divided all living things into kingdoms such as plant and animal kingdom. Within each kingdom, the organisms are divided into phyla, and every phylum is made up of several classes, and each class has several orders. Within each orders are families, such family divided into genus and further into species. An example is the classification of dog. So, dog belongs to the kingdom Animalia, belongs to the phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Canidae, genus Canis, and species Canis familiaris. Classifying organisms does not only show the relationships of organisms, but also used to trace the possible origin of organisms and the development of their present forms. The principle behind the evolution states that similarities among organisms are due to common descent or inheritance from a common ancestor. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The following slides are notes from this video for your reference.